Hi, I'm Tammy, the Gown Girl, and I'm happy to be here talking about wedding gowns and wedding gals shopping with you. Today we're going to talk about trunk shows. If you've been shopping for wedding gowns for a while, you've probably heard the term trunk show, and maybe you're not real sure exactly what it means. Well, today let me explain trunk shows to you, give you some of the benefits and what to expect, and then also maybe some pros and cons and some ideas for going to a trunk show and finding your wedding gown and having a successful shopping experience. So a trunk show is when a bridal boutique will get gowns or veils or jewelry from a designer that they don't usually carry. Now they'll often carry some items from this designer in the store, but not the entire collection. And so a trunk show is an opportunity for the designer to send more gowns from their collection for a limited time to the store. It's usually a weekend, sometimes it's a week, could be even longer. It's just up to the designer and the boutique, and also how many brides are really interested in coming and seeing those gowns that are in for a limited time. So if you love a certain designer, a great idea is to follow the bridal boutiques in your area and also follow the designer on social media, because bridal boutiques and the designer will both post frequently when a trunk show is coming to your area, and then you'll have the opportunity to call and to make an appointment. Most boutiques will want you to make an appointment for a trunk show. They usually don't allow walk-ins. It's not because they're trying to make it difficult on you, but they want the people that do come shopping to be able to see everything and to have time to try on. So if you see a trunk show somewhere and you just walk in hoping to see what's there, don't be too surprised if you're not able to try on the gowns or maybe even get a good look at them, because they will be reserved for those who have appointments. So if you want to attend a trunk show, the very first important thing to do is to make an appointment for that trunk show. When you're there, the designer may or may not be at that trunk show. Some of the smaller designers who have smaller lines will come with the gowns to the trunk show and will meet and work with the brides themselves. That's always really fun. But in general, the larger design houses such as Casablanca or Maggie Sotero or Maury Lee, some of those really well-known large bridal lines, will only send the gowns. And then you'll still be working with the consultants who work for the bridal boutique, who have probably gotten some extra training about that designer for the trunk show and will still be really knowledgeable about helping you find the wedding gown of your dreams. So just to know what to expect, designer may or may not be there. Besides gown trunk shows, there's also veil trunk shows and accessories trunk shows. And so make sure you know what you're going for. If you go for a veil trunk show or an accessories trunk show, there will often be the opportunity to try your gown on or a similar gown to yours so that you can see the whole thing and have the whole item put together and your whole outfit put together. Also at a trunk show, you may or may not have access to the other gowns in the boutique to try on during that appointment. It's really up to the boutique and what works best for them with their consultants and their fitting rooms that they have available. So you may go in and only be able to try on gowns from the trunk show. Don't feel bad about that. Just enjoy the process. If you don't find your dream gown that day, make an appointment to go back to the same boutique and try on their gowns in their other collections. But just something to be aware of, that's just a possibility, again, based on the boutiques and their policies. Usually you can expect that there would be a discount during a trunk show or a gift with purchase. Most of the times the designer doesn't pass the discount on to the boutique. So the discounts and the gifts are all up to the boutique, and it would be coming out of their part of the purchase of the gown. So just keep that in mind, that if you're getting something from the boutique, they're being generous, and be appreciative of that, but there's nothing wrong with asking for it either. What are some of the benefits of a trunk show? Well, you'll often get something that's unique, sometimes one of a kind. Sometimes, especially if the designer is there, you'll have the opportunity to customize a gown for you, and maybe mix and match, especially with veils or with accessories. There's really a lot of customizing that can happen at a trunk show. So that's always lots of fun. So ask about that. Nothing wrong with asking all these questions, especially when you make your appointment. Make sure you know what to expect when you're going to that particular trunk show. But while you're there, never feel badly to ask questions of your consultant about the gowns, about the veil, about the accessories. They're usually really excited to talk about them too. So what are some of the cons to a trunk show? Well, I don't really think there are too many. I think every bride who has an opportunity to go to a trunk show should just go and enjoy it. And hopefully you find your dream gown, you make the decision, you're able to get a discount and get exactly what you want and really have had a great experience at the same time. So I say go. The one thing I can think of that might be a drawback to purchasing a gown at a trunk show is that your boutique or your seamstress may not be extremely knowledgeable about that particular style. They probably know the designer well if they're doing a trunk show, or it might be a new designer to their boutique and they're doing a trunk show to introduce the collection. So there may be a little bit of the consultants or the bridal boutique or the seamstress not knowing those gowns or that particular gown as well as they would others in their collection. That's not anything that should really stop a bride from making the purchase, because if they're offering it, they're going to learn about it and give you the best service they can, and the designer's always there behind them, a phone call away, to help them through the process. So I don't think it's a drawback. It might just be a good thing to keep in mind and give your boutique a little extra patience and a little extra grace. The ordering process, the measuring process may take a little longer than it would with a gown or a designer that they're very comfortable with. They may not know the size chart as much or some of the options as much. It might take them a little longer to look that up or need to call the designer. So that would be the only thing I would say. Have a little extra patience and a little extra grace as you go to a trunk show, just because the familiarity might not be there between the boutique or the consultant and that designer or that particular gown from the designer. I hope this is helpful to you and makes you excited about going gown shopping, and I wish you the very best. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.